And you wrote a book about unity,
Yeah.
until unity.
Yeah.
What is so hard? Because you're saying about Hong Kong, but it's the same in US and the same in Brazil and the same in Argentina, Colombia, and everywhere.
And again, the way the world is set up right now, it's very easy to be an individual.
Okay, got it.
You know, it's very easy to just sit on your phone. Yeah. I remember as a kid, like if you went to a party and it was a little uncomfortable because you didn't know anyone. You just either stand there awkwardly, which drives you crazy, or you have to just go meet people and connect. Exactly. You don't have any other option. Otherwise, you're sitting there drinking your, punch or whatever, and looking around. It's horrible. It was embarrassing. It was strange. Now you just go on your phone and pretend you got important things to do.
Yeah.
Or
you have your world here.
Yeah, you have your world. And you don't need each other. You can do everything by yourself. And so then the other thing too is you're so used to these, I can control this phone. I can't control you. I can just unfriend people, in a moment. And like, it wasn't like that before. It's like, wow. If I don't get along with my brother, there's no one else to play with at home. I can't just go online and text all my friends and everything else, or even watch TV. You didn't have your own television set back then.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just harder and harder, but it's our egos, it's our impatience. I think that it's also driving us to impatience. We want answers immediately. And so we just get impatient with people. We don't really listen to people anymore because we're always trying to do 3 things at once. And so when someone's talking, gosh, you see people texting at the same time. Go, I just have to, I just got to check this one thing. Oh, yeah, no, I'm listening. It's like, no, you're not listening. There's just not the bonds there used to be. But we can't blame all those things because God calls us to create our own culture. It's always been about this is the way of the world. But you, man of God, how are you going to live? Yeah. How are we as the church going to be a light into the world? How are our relationships going to be different? So God knew all this was going to happen.
Yes.
And he's given us power to overcome this. We just have to be strong and say, you know what? I'm going to ditch my phone this week because I'm going to look people in the eye and have true conversation. I'm going to leave my phone at home and go up to the mountains and just be alone with the Lord because I don't want any distractions with me. I'm going to bring a physical Bible so when I look up a verse, I'm not getting texted and distracted. Yes. There are things we can practically do because Peter tells us to be self-controlled and clear-minded for the sake of our prayers because the end is near. So there's something about Christ is coming soon, so we better not be distracted. We better exercise self-control for the sake of our prayers. And that's what I would say is one of the biggest evils of all these distractions. People are no longer able to pray. They cannot focus on God without their mind wandering to something else. And that's why the Bible says show self-control and sober-mindedness for the sake of your prayers, for the end is near. So it's like, because Christ is coming soon, I better have a strong, focused prayer life. And I am not able to do that when I'm constantly on my computer and phone. Because your mind isn't able to transition from that and go, okay, now I'm going to go into 30 minutes of quiet prayer. Our minds don't work that way.
For me, a big secret was the table. Because sometimes I was listening to someone preaching, and then you say, I don't agree with that. So you kind of want to separate. But when you sit on the table and start to have a meal with the person, and listen to the person. You say,
Yes.
this man loves God. This woman loves God.
Yes.
And it really gives a new perspective of the other person, right?
Yeah, and I would say that in Brazil, you have an advantage. You have the best food in the world, you know.
Sorry.
So everyone put your phone
Away
away
and give me
and
meat.
come and eat. And then you have the advantage of people that are full of life and they're enjoyable and they love to laugh. I love the smiles. Okay, when I meet Brazilians, it's just like there's just an immediate warmth and gosh, your emotions are out there.
Thank you.
And don't let the phone kill that. It will kill that.
So good.
It will over time kill that spirit life. So sit around your great food, your great friends that still have a personality and still have emotion and are able to scream and laugh. I love hearing you laugh. I love hearing you scream. And you're going to lose all of that emotion and you're going to become like that machine that you hold in your hands if you're not careful. The world needs
So
you to
true.
be a light.